As many of you know, I have lost thousands and thousands of dollars from SoFi stock. However, it turns out that a lot of you have a lot more money than I do, and selfishly, reading all of your comments has given me a good laugh as I wait out this current dip. So today I'm going to be reacting to some of my favorite comments from my many SoFi stock-related videos and clarifying my thoughts on a few things surrounding this topic. All right, let's jump right into it. What is going on, everyone? I hope you are all having a fantastic day. So I've made 6 videos on this topic, going all the way back to the original IPO video that I made, and have essentially documented my entire decision-making process and descent into badness, as I have lost about $12,000 from investing in SoFi. Now, my thoughts on this topic, nor my comments on your thoughts on this topic, are not financial advice in any way, shape, and form. However, they are very entertaining, so let's hop into some of the funniest comments from all of you. So going all the way back to my original IPO video, Welcome said $1,000. Wow, such conviction. Yeah, that's a sick burn, I'll own that one. But again, at the time, I just wanted to dip my toe in the water and try it out and at least get invested in SoFi in some capacity. And as a lot of you know, I then later invested an additional $24,000 over the course of several months, which again, I documented across a number of videos. Unfortunately, that is no longer worth $25,000 total, but it is what it is. Jay Lebo, probably butchering that, says, I have $50,000 on SoFi. Let's go. Good. Really good stuff. So this is one of the many comments that I've seen of all of you saying how you have a lot more money invested in SoFi than I do. So to that I say thank you, because selfishly it makes me feel better about my losses on this stock. All right, this next one is a bit of a touchy subject, but it is something that I get a lot of questions about, so bear with me. Saborium says, what is going to happen to SoFi when Biden forgives all student loans and gives everyone, quote, free education for life? What is SoFi going to do with that vault of IOUs when they become worthless thanks to Biden? Who is going to pay their student loans now if they know that Biden is going to make them all go away in a few weeks? Well, I'll tell you right off the bat that this comment was left over 6 months ago, and there still has not been any kind of widespread student loan forgiveness that has been widely talked about in the news. Now, obviously, the purpose of this video is not to get into that specific topic and my own personal opinions on it, and really, I just don't care. Now, in terms of the effect that that would have on SoFi and their stock price, well, personally, I think that if there was any kind of student loan forgiveness, number one, it would probably be at a maximum of $10,000 per borrower, but again, that is just my opinion of what I think could realistically happen, and most likely that would be on federal loans, and really would have little to no impact on private loans, which is what SoFi is lending. Now, obviously, that would send ripple effects across the entire education sector, and that would impact lenders like SoFi, including their stock price. But personally, I don't really see that happening, at least in the foreseeable future, and therefore, I'm not really concerned about student loan forgiveness having a huge impact on SoFi stock. But again, very touchy subject, so let me know what you think of that down in the comment section. Fu Jobu says, aw, $10,000, that's an adorable little bet. So this was actually 2 videos after my original video when I invested just $1,000, and in that video I invested $10,000, and still to some of you, that is just not a big chunk of change, but to me, that's a lot of money to invest in one company, but I still appreciate the sick burn and keeping me in check. All right, this next one is a huge point that I'm gonna drive home that I have received so many comments about, and Jeffrey Orton says, you didn't lose anything if you didn't sell. And Jeffrey, I appreciate that comment so much because you are 100% correct. I know I joke about how I've lost $12,000 from SoFi stock, but I have not sold anything for my original investment, so Jeffrey and a lot of others who have left that kind of comment are exactly correct. I really have not lost anything, and really, if anything, this is a great buying opportunity, but as I've talked about in previous videos, I've thought that several times as the price has continued to go down, and it seems to just continue sinking lower and lower. 3 months ago on one of my SoFi stock update videos, Kelly Walker said, I'm very surprised that the bank charter came and went and couldn't drive any substantial gains. Talk about buy the rumor, sell the news. Yeah, I totally agree with Kelly on that one. We were waiting for so long for SoFi to get that national banking charter, but it seems like the rumor of that happening was already priced into the market, and as a result, when that finally did end up happening, because it was already priced into the stock price, it really had little to no long-term impact on SoFi stock. kind of a bummer, but in the long term, having that national bank charter is definitely a good thing for SoFi as a whole. Michael Catalano says, all in buying. I want to have 10,000 shares at least before it hits $12 again. At $5 to $7 per share, that's a pretty sizable investment of $50,000 to $70,000. So if it goes up to $12 per share, then that would be a pretty nice profit. So best of luck to you on that one, Michael. So depending on when you're watching this, just for some context on this next one, right now I'm recording this at the end of May in 2022, and 1 month ago, AAA Logistics Inc. said, in my opinion, in April or May, this should be $22 to $25 per share. And as lovely as that would be, unfortunately, that does not seem to be the case, because again, I'm recording this at the end of May, and currently SoFi is at just $7 per share. Here's another really common question I get in regard to SoFi stock. Den of Wolves said, do you use SoFi to buy stock? And the short answer is yes, but also no. For most of my long-term index fund investing, as many of you know, I personally use Wealthfront because it's fully automated. However, I do use SoFi to buy individual stocks, including my large investment in SoFi themselves. There are so many platforms that allow you to invest in individual stocks pretty much for free across the board, but because I like having everything under one umbrella, I just prefer to do this from the SoFi app. Michael H asks, why not cut your losses now and step back in when and if the price goes lower? Why continue to take losses? And that's a great question, and obviously something that I have considered, but personally, I am a firm believer that you cannot time the market, at least consistently, and while I do spend a lot of time analyzing SoFi as a company and understanding their stock and financials, I just don't believe that I personally would be able to time the market, and there's a strong chance that I would sell and then the price would start to go up again. So for me personally, it's better to just continue with the strategy of buying and holding, even if that means averaging down in order to lower my average price per share. Eric Modernell says, do not feel bad. I have a loss of 6 figures. I too broke my many rules, and this stock price sucks, but I have to wait a long time. God help us. Well, Eric, again, thank you for making me feel better about my much smaller investment, and while to me that is still a large chunk of money that I have lost, it is nice to know that others are way over-leveraged on this particular investment as well. All right, here's another huge question that I get all the time that I need to clarify. The Social Gamer asks, but do you plan or suggest to keep using SoFi as your bank? And the easy answer is yes. Unless SoFi were to go bankrupt and the platform were to just disappear, I plan on using SoFi for the long term, at least until I find a platform that I like better. And as someone who has reviewed hundreds of different financial tools, including banking platforms, I personally love SoFi. I like having everything under one umbrella. So regardless of what happens to the stock price, whether it goes up or down, I will continue to use SoFi as my main banking platform. And lastly, this one is in reference to my most recent SoFi stock video where they halted trading. And in that video, I talked about how I personally felt that SoFi actually released or leaked their earnings report early intentionally. And ColtFoT5 says, you know it, they did it on purpose because it was tanking due to the sector prior to the scheduled call, and called it an accident to have it halted. It wasn't a blunder, it was a very calculated, smart thing to do. We should be thankful this happened. They know what they are doing. So if that made absolutely no sense to you, go ahead and check out my most recent video where I talked about how SoFi leaked their earnings report and had to halt trading because of that. But I personally felt that that was intentional, and it does show that between the people at SoFi and with the SPAC merger that they did, they do know what they're doing in terms of controlling the stock price to some degree, and of course focusing on the company's financials and fundamentals, which is the most important thing for us long-term investors. All right, so these were just some of my favorite hilarious comments that were left on my different SoFi stock videos, but I appreciate all of you giving me a good laugh as I try to figure out what I'm going to do with this bleeding investment. Let me know what you think of this different style video down in the comment section, because I did have a lot of fun making it. And of course, be sure to check out some of my favorite financial tools down below the like button. Thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it so much. Take it easy, and I'll see you in the next one.